FNCS Grand Finals is almost here, ladies and gentlemen, and today is predictions day. No, but on a real note, FNCS Grand Finals is almost here. It's literally, by the time I'm posting this, it'll probably be a few hours from now. So I need to get this done quick because I'm literally leaving again in like a couple hours. So this is gonna be a rough video. However, let's not waste any more time. Let's get into this because I need to be quick with this, okay? Cut me some slack. So starting off with my honorable mentions, these are teams that I think have a strong chance to do well, and not only that, to also qualify for LAN. Starting off with probably the most controversial team in the region right now, and that is Agers and Vergo. Once again, they are having a very difficult time with their drop spot situation. They are currently landing Latte landing, and this team is one of the few top teams on NA to not qualify for LAN yet. So I am really hoping that this team does manage to qualify for LAN somehow with the current situation. Next up is Golden and Ozone. Golden and Ozone surprisingly got in the LAN qualification through Summit LAN by placing 13th place at the Summit LAN, which is where you need to get top 15 to qualify. So there are basically a lock for LAN already, so not really expecting too much, but it won't surprise me if they do well. Next is Visuals and Threats. This team got in second in the last divisional cup of the season. They do currently have an uncontested drop. However, I'm not really sure how confident I am in this team quite yet, because since there are a bunch of other teams that I'm more confident in. King and Craze is also another one of the honorable mentions. Now, King and Craze did just recently win 2 games in the most recent eval finals, and they are surprisingly getting top placements without anyone really talking about them. They're not in my top 10 right now, but I won't be surprised if they sneak their way in there. And another team that I honestly was debating whether to put them in my top 10 or not, and that is Higgs and Curve. Now, this team did win a game in the most recent eval finals. However, when it came to Div Cups, they were kind of on up and down spiral. However, they did recently win the FNCSTs with Curve getting 18 eliminations in the very last game out of the 21. So very good stuff from these guys. However, they're not going to be in my top 10 predictions, unfortunately, right now. Now going into my top 10 predictions, starting off in 10th place, I have Queasy and Victor V. Now, this team has been kind of iffy this season so far. They kind of did just form literally right after Div Cups ended, and throughout their history, we all know Victor V has won the major one on NA West. Queasy, to me, is a grand finals player. He could literally dud every single tournament that he wants is set for grand finals. For some reason, they are currently landing at the Mythic Pistol split, so they do have a very good drop. And the Mythic Pistol, as we all know, is very broken. So I think this is not a complete lock for a globals qualifier. However, they do have probably a higher chance than most people realize. Going into 9th place is probably one of the more popularizing teams as of late, and that is Reet and Cooper. Now, this team is one of the few teams that I have in my top 10 that do have a LAN spot secure already. However, this team actually was actually supposed to be contested by Josh and Yamzo. However, this team actually was doing Oswald and Togezo the other day. First to 10, no win by 2, and the winner gets the drop spot. And Reet and Cooper managed to win 10-8 in Osbon, so that means they now have a fully uncontested walkie lane. So I'm not even going to talk about the bad Div Cup performances where they landed Frosty Flats in 1 week, Cluster Coast in another week, and then Walking Land in the other week, where they were literally contested all of their games. However, they did get 7th in the Summerland while being contested by Agers and Ritual. So I am really hoping that they do well with them finally getting an uncontested drop spot. In my 8th place spot is probably one of the more underrated teams as of late, and that is Javi and Diminish. Now, this team is currently uncontested as a split next to Golden Grove, and in Div Cups they have looked pretty good, getting a 6th, 3rd, and 9th place. So very good stuff from Javi and Mish. I really am expecting them to do well in FNCS time, and of course qualify for the global championships. Of course, in 7th place we have Mr. Lion himself, Bugha and Braids. Now this team I thought was uncontested at Golden Grove, but it looks like they are getting con. I am fully expecting Bugha and Braids to either win the spot fight or fully split it. Now in Div Cups they have gotten a 7th and 8th place, which is not something too special. However, Bugha, whenever he does get a chance to qualify for FNCS Grand Finals and not having the whole ban thing happening, he somehow finds a way to end up in the top 10 every single time. And they also did qualify for the EWC LAN, so I am expecting some good things from them going forward. In 6th place is Muzz and Rise. Now this team I still am a little bit iffy about, for 2 reasons. One, I don't know how their vibes currently are as a duo ever since they had that whole beef. And secondly, this is probably the placement that Muzz seems to always get whenever it comes to Div Cups and FNCS. This is like his ceiling as of right now. And another thing, number three is that they are currently contested at the rock split still. I'm not really sure if the team that is contesting them are fully committed of landing on them. However, I think Muzz and Rise are good enough as players to get almost a top 5. A team that is definitely capable of getting a top 5 is my personal favorite team as of right now, of Shadow and Vergo. Now this team did place 8th place in the Summon Land, so they did already qualify for globals. However, they are a very scary fighting team. They got in 3rd, 7th, and 6th in the FNCS majors. And one of the main issues that I do have with this duo is that they do take very bad fights at times, which is why they aren't any higher on my list. I would put them maybe even a top 3 in FNCS Grand Finals this season. However, if they do fix their bad fights, I do really think they could maybe top 3. But however, as of right now, I'm only having them in my top 5. In 4th place is a team that is basically a lock for FNCS Global Championships, and that is Cold and Ritual. Now this team did win the last Div Cup of the season. They are fully splitting Battlewoods, not Battlewood Boulevard. I just remember the name while doing my research. They are splitting the Battlewoods, and Cole at any player given time could be the best player in a grand finals. Cole, I don't know if people have been talking about this, but Cole has been grinding the most I think I have ever seen from him, and he's also has the goated IGL, fragging IGL actually, of Ritual, and I think they could do very well. Not really many red flags for this team. I just do think there are a couple of teams above them that they could do better. Now for my 3rd place spot, this might seem controversial, and I am kind of scared to place them this highly, but right now I have Clix and Rapid. Now I did write down that they have Uncon Sanctuary. I'll just put up a screenshot right here. However, it looks like Josh and Yamzo are trying to take like a part of their drop, which is like the building that I don't know if you guys know, but Clixy and Aiden were planning to take part of that drop. And then they immediately left after some very interesting comments from the Clix fans. However, I don't really think that's going to be an issue because Clix this is probably the most primed up I think I've ever seen Clix in a very long time. I think the last time I seen him this primed up was like back in chapter 5 season 1 where we had the whole sniper meta. Fortnite, please bring back the snipers, it will be great for the game. However, they are not scared to take any fights as of late. This might honestly be Clix's best placement if they play this out properly, and Rabbit has not placed outside of the top 10 in the last 2.5 years, so this is definitely one of the top teams to be a lock to qualify for the global championship. In 2nd place, I have Peterbot and Poyo. Now this team did win the first Div Cup of the season, but it did happen when we had the whole Chaos Shotgun meta, and they are Uncon Sinister. However, I do think they have been slowing down as of late, because in the last FNCS they literally got in 7th place, which does concern me a little bit. However, it's Peterbot and Pollo at the end of the day. This team could literally just pull out a win out of their pocket if they really wanted to. So, but however, for right now, I am sticking to my gut and keeping them in second place, which means in first place as of right now, I have Acorn and Bolts. Now, this team, I mean, let me just say, I am a big Acorn fan, so this is kind of biased. However, Acorn did have a disgusting solo clutch in their heat stage. It might be an easier heat, but you can't deny that it was crazy and will be the best Acorn solo clutch of his career. Now, in Div Clubs, they have gotten a 7th, 4th, and 3rd, and Acorn has not placed outside the top 5 within the last like 2 years, I think. So Acorn and Bolts are a very consistent team, specifically Acorn. Acorn is like the best IGL on NA right now, and at any given time, Bolts can literally be the best player in a grand finals. They have just placed top 5 in the most recent Summerland, with a potential chance of winning if they didn't sell the last game, so they do have very high potential to win at FNCS Grand Finals, which is why I have them winning this season. Anyways, that's it for this video, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.